Hi friends, I have an interesting story for you. Listen to it, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel and like it, because I'm trying really hard for you. Valentina and I have been married for more than 2 decades. We were introduced to each other at a friend's party when we were both young. It was a fantastic night, and we were both a little tipsy and cheerful. We immediately took an interest in each other. After that, we began dating, and eventually, we tied the knot. I started my career at a nearby poultry farm and worked my way up from the bottom. Initially, I believed that my job at the poultry farm was only a temporary gig. Despite the challenging and unenjoyable work, I persevered to earn a decent income. My hard work did not go unnoticed by the management, and I steadily climbed the career ladder. Eventually, I became responsible for overseeing multiple shops and managing various tasks. This position suited me well, as I had a thorough understanding of how the company operated. Meanwhile, Valentina also secured a job as an accountant in the same company. Our life was quite ordinary. We worked during the weekdays and rested on weekends. On most weekends, we would gather with friends at our beautiful countryside home to enjoy some barbecued meat and engaging conversations. However, my director, Edward, was a slippery person. I immediately disliked him after his recent appointment. His excessively picky work style caused half of the staff to quit. Although he didn't have any major complaints about my work, he didn't seem to be in a hurry to acknowledge my efforts. He reduced everyone's pay and bonuses, resulting in more work but less pay. I noticed his sneaky behavior and how he was hiding something. During one of our weekend gatherings at the countryside home, my friend Kyle asked me about my work. Honestly, things weren't great. The new director was causing trouble for everyone. He has ruined the company with his so-called innovations, and now he's blaming us for everything. The management can never be wrong, according to him. He's a real jerk, I complained to my friends. I've heard about him, my friend Steven chimed in. Come on, guys. He's new, learning, and trying his best, my wife Valentina defended him. What the hell are you defending him for, Valentina? He's a real bastard, I exclaimed indignantly. What did he do to you personally? Did he cut your pay? My friend asked. Well, the company is going through tough times. It's not entirely his fault. As the accountant, I can see that our income has significantly decreased. So we have to make cuts, I explained. We've already discussed this. I don't understand why we're bringing this up again, I added. Valentina, I can tell that he's a bad person. Something is off here, my friend countered. Well, you know better, don't you? After all, you're in charge of the company's orders and foreign policy, I replied with a hint of sarcasm. I may not be participating in this, but I have noticed one thing. Since this individual arrived, everything has gone downhill. It's not just me who sees it, everyone does. Yet instead of supporting your spouse, you take the side of this oddball. Why do you think you're so smart? You haven't even been promoted to director yet. You've been in the same position for a while with no career growth. Valentina retorted with anger. Just do your job and sit back. Enough already. Let's all calm down. We understand there are problems at work. Let's forget about it for today and enjoy ourselves. Kyle attempted to defuse the situation. Great idea. I'm all for it. Let's have a drink, Steven said, offering a bottle of beer. We clinked our bottles and continued to relax, trying to avoid the topic. Valentina's stance had upset me, and her statements today were particularly troublesome. As it grew dark outside, I walked over to the fence for some alone time with a bottle of beer. Steven approached me. Mind if I join you? He asked. Of course not, I replied. Listen, about Edward, he's a total jerk. I completely agree with you. I've heard a lot of bad things about him, Steven said. I don't understand why Valentina is so protective of him, I added before we played a song. That's concerning, Steven. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but I've heard rumors that Edward is a notorious womanizer. He never misses an opportunity to pursue a woman, and Valentina is a prominent figure. I'm worried something bad might happen, I said. Are you serious? Steven asked. I don't believe Valentina would ever let that happen. She would send Edward packing without a second thought. He added, "Just be cautious, William. As your friend, I had to tell you, but please don't tell Valentina I said anything. I don't want to complicate things," Stephen warned. "Got it, Stephen. Thanks for the heads up," I replied. I couldn't sleep that night. Valentina's strange behavior and Stephen's words kept replaying in my mind. To make matters worse, Edward had sent me on a business trip. All of this is driving me crazy, I thought to myself as I decided to talk to Valentina in the morning. "Baby, I'm sorry, but I still don't understand why you're so protective of Edward," I said. "Are we really talking about him again? Am I supposed to always agree with you? If you have such a negative impression of him, then I feel sorry for you. I'm really embarrassed by your stance. It feels like I'm not your husband, but he is," I added. "Are you jealous of me?" Valentina replied with a smile. "Maybe a little jealous, but it's not just that. You know I'm a little insecure sometimes," I admitted. "You're my only love, William. I would never cheat on you with Edward or anyone else. I love you so much," Valentina reassured me. "I love you too, and I don't want anyone to come between us," I said. "No one can stand between us, don't worry," Valentina replied before we moved on from the topic. Okay, I thought to myself after the conversation with Valentina. I was just being paranoid and jealous. It's all just gossip. But a few days later, I left on a business trip and my insecurities returned. My gut feeling told me that something was still off. I was supposed to stay on the trip for 2 weeks, but I finished all of my tasks early. During that time, my doubts about Valentina's fidelity only grew stronger. I decided to come home early without telling anyone. I wanted to follow Valentina and see what she would do in my absence. It was the only way I could find peace of mind. I arrived in my city late at night and parked my car near our house. I got into my car and started to watch. Valentina left the house as usual in the morning and headed towards the production facility where she worked. I followed her and parked not far from my own business. The day dragged on painfully slowly, and my mind was consumed with thoughts that Valentina might have lied to me. I tried to push those thoughts aside and remind myself that I couldn't make assumptions without concrete evidence. As evening approached, I saw the rest of the staff leaving for home, but Valentina didn't show up. My heart started to race. Why was she delayed? Everyone else had already gone home, and there shouldn't have been anyone else around except for the security guard. Perhaps I hadn't noticed her departure, but I did observe her car still in the parking lot. Unable to resist, I made my way inside. Familiar with the establishment, I easily slipped in unnoticed. The silence was unusual, as the weekdays were typically bustling with the sounds of machinery and people. My wife's office resided on the second floor, where a light shone. As I approached the door, I could hear voices. "Come on, Valentina, no need to act like the employee of the year," teased Edward's voice, which I recognized. My heart raced faster, and though I wanted to believe my doubts were unfounded, it did little to alleviate my unease. I resolved to continue observing. "Edward, I need to get my work done. Do you want the founders to discover you're taking money?" Valentina's words were firm. "I don't steal, I just earn a little more than my salary," Edward replied, attempting to make light of the situation. Looks like my suspicions weren't unfounded. And that money isn't yours alone, I thought to myself. You'll get your share of this deal too. The worst we can get is a life sentence, but no one will find out, Edward assured Valentina. You're smart, unlike your idiot husband. How do you put up with him? I don't know. But with him out of the picture, I'll be at peace. It's time to get rid of him. Soon, we'll have enough money to leave this rundown town behind. Let's leave your husband to take the blame. The blame will fall entirely on the fool and no one will believe him. He'll be blamed for everything, Edward chuckled. Now, baby, let's get a little distracted. My friend is already missing you, he added as he started to unbutton his pants. Valentina playfully began to undress, and the scoundrel climbed on top of her. Fury consumed me, and I stormed into the office. You despicable scumbags, I bellowed. pulling the bastard off my wife and striking him across the face with all my might. "William, what are you doing here? Aren't you on a business trip?" Valentina cried out in shock. "Yes, I had to see with my own eyes that you're a finished creature," I replied, my anger still boiling. "William, calm down, or I'll ruin you," Edward threatened as he struggled to get up from the floor. "Are you still going to threaten me, you bitch?" I shouted, slamming my boot into the scoundrel's mouth, knocking out his snow-white teeth. Edward's mouth filled with blood as he desperately grabbed it. "You knocked my teeth out, you bastard!" he hissed. "Am I the bastard now?" "Let's see what you're doing here," I retorted. "Yes, let's see. You vile creatures claimed the company had no money while secretly selling our products at inflated prices and pocketing the difference. Now it's clear you robbed everyone," I continued, seething with anger. "Okay, now I'll deal with you. What are you thinking, Valentina?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Shut up, whore. You'll see soon enough," I shouted back. I tied the scoundrels up tightly and dragged them to the shipping line. I then controlled the crane from above and lowered the hook on the cable. I placed the bastards on the hook and lifted them up, leaving them hanging upside down. Each of those individuals knew that I was capable of carrying out my plan. "You will do it!" I shouted, my face showing confusion. "No, William, please don't do this!" cried Valentina in hysterics. "William, I beg your forgiveness. I'll return all the money and we can share it with you. You'll become very wealthy," Edward pleaded with me. Meanwhile, they were suspended above the water tank. "I won't accept your dirty money, you scoundrels. It's time to begin the water procedures," I declared as I pressed the button on the remote control. Slowly, these individuals began to descend. They moved like snakes being thrown into hot oil. Their fear and despair were palpable, and every passing moment brought them closer to their inevitable fate. Overcome with terror, these poor individuals even lost control of their bodily functions when they made contact with the water. The sight was shocking, and it briefly sent a jolt through me due to the power of suggestion, but nothing more. I didn't kill them. I had disconnected the electricity from the tank earlier, so they simply dipped into the water. After lifting them out of the water, I approached them. "Listen carefully, you scoundrels," I said. "I'll spare your miserable lives, but I suggest you stay in the city tomorrow. I've handed over all the documents from the office to the authorities and the police. It's in your best interest to turn yourselves in voluntarily. If you attempt to flee, pray that the police catch you before I do. Otherwise, I'll find you and finish what I started." Was my speech comprehensible? I demanded of the quivering cowards as I grasped their throats. They nodded in terror and consented to every demand. Eventually, I released them. I handed over all pertinent documents to both the authorities and the founders. Those wretches didn't dare attempt to flee. I had frightened them out of their wits. They were sentenced to a lengthy imprisonment. My fortunes took a turn for the better when the founders promoted me to director of the enterprise, allowing me to put everything in order. A successful act of revenge, a new position, and a substantial salary increase helped me overcome the regrets I had carried for years due to a deceitful woman. That's the end of the story, folks. Please support my channel by liking and sharing this video with your friends. Bye-bye.